Hi, welcome to Audiobook Academy. This is a self-paced audiobook. There's no need to keep an eye on things. Just pay attention. Thank you for taking the time to listen. This is an audiobook summary of Rich Dad Poor Dad by Robert T. Kiyosaki. Dad is a wealthy individual. Poor Dad is a documentary about Robert Kiyosaki and his two fathers, his biological father, Poor Dad, and the father of his best friend, Rich Dad, and the ways in which both men influenced his views on money and investing. It is not necessary to have a large income in order to be wealthy. Rich people make their money do their bidding. The poor and the middle class are forced to work for a living. The wealthy have money to do their bidding. It is not the amount of money you earn that is important. It all comes down to how much money you keep. People who are wealthy amass assets. The poor and middle class amass liabilities that they mistakenly believe to be assets. It is what you do with your money once you have it, how you keep people from taking it away from you, how you keep it for a longer period of time, and how you make money work hard for you that determines your financial aptitude. The single most powerful asset we all possess is the ability to think clearly. Lessons from a rich father and a poor father. Lesson 1, the wealthy do not work for a living. Lesson 2, why should financial literacy be taught? Lesson 3, take care of your own affairs. Lesson 4, the evolution of taxation and the role of corporations in society. Lesson 5, money is invented by the rich. Lesson 6, put in the effort to learn rather than to make money. Between being poor and being bankrupt, there is a significant difference. Being broke is only a temporary state of affairs. Poverty is an eternal state. When it comes to money, it comes and goes, but if you have the proper education about how money works, you can gain control over it and start building wealth. Fear and greed are the two emotions that control people's lives for the rest of their lives. "Oh, I'm not interested in money," says a large number of people. Despite this, they'll put in 8 hours a day at their jobs. Believing that having a job provides you with security is deluding yourself. Intelligence is the ability to solve problems and generate money. You must understand the distinction between an asset and a liability, and you must purchase assets. An asset is something that puts money in your pocket. A liability entails the loss of money from your bank account. A lack of literacy in both words and numbers, according to the World Bank, is the foundation of financial hardship. Money frequently draws attention to our tragic human flaws, shining a light on what we don't know about ourselves. Cash flow tells the story of how a person manages his or her financial resources. Most people don't understand why they are having financial difficulties because they are not familiar with cash flow. Taxes are the number one expense for the vast majority of people. Higher incomes result in higher taxation. Bracket creep is the term used to describe this phenomenon. More money is rarely the solution to a person's financial problems. Most people are paralyzed by their fear of being different, which prevents them from exploring alternative solutions to their problems. A person can have a high level of education, be professionally successful, and be financially illiterate at the same time. Trying to keep up with the Joneses leads to a lot of financial difficulties. As soon as you understand the distinction between assets and liabilities, you should concentrate your efforts on acquiring income-generating assets. It is difficult to achieve success by simply working harder because each of these three levels requires a greater proportion of your increased efforts. Your increased efforts must directly benefit you and your family, which means you must learn how to do so. Wealth is defined as a person's ability to survive for a specified number of days in the future. For example, if I stopped working today, how long could I survive? Says the author. The wealthy amass assets. The poor only have expenses to worry about. The middle class purchases liabilities in the mistaken belief that they are purchasing assets. The wealthy are preoccupied with their asset columns, whereas everyone else is preoccupied with their income statements. Financial struggle is frequently the direct result of people spending their entire lives working for someone else, says the author. The mistake that too many people make when attempting to become what they study is that they forget to take care of themselves. They spend their entire lives taking care of someone else's affairs and making that person wealthy. In order to achieve financial stability, a person must take care of their own affairs. Financial hardship is frequently the result of people spending their entire lives working for someone else. It is because they lack a financial foundation that the vast majority of the poor and middle class are fiscally conservative, which means they say, "I can't afford to take risks." One of the primary reasons net worth is inaccurate is that the moment you begin selling your assets, you are subject to income tax on any gains. A new car loses nearly 25% of the price you paid for it the moment you drive it off the lot, according to the Associated Press. Stay within budgetary constraints, reduce liabilities, and diligently build a foundation of solid assets. According to Kiyosaki, He owns businesses that do not require his physical presence. "If I have to work there, it isn't a business," says the author. "It is now my responsibility." According to Kiyosaki, real estate assets can be divided into the following types: stocks, bonds, real estate with a positive cash flow. Take a look at these notes: IOUs. A royalty is a fee paid for the use of intellectual property like music, scripts, and patents. Anything else that has value, generates income, or appreciates in value, and has a ready market is considered to be valuable. People who despise real estate shouldn't invest in it, says the author. Kiyosaki typically holds on to his real estate investments for less than 7 years. Start taking care of your own affairs. Maintain your day job, but begin investing in real assets rather than liabilities. By minding your own business, Kiyosaki refers to the process of building and maintaining a strong asset column. Once a dollar is placed in it, it should never be taken out. The best thing about money is that it works 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, and can last for generations, says the author. In addition, an important distinction is that rich people tend to purchase luxury items at the end of their shopping list, whereas the poor and middle class tend to purchase luxury items first. A true luxury is a reward for making a significant investment in and developing a valuable asset. Robin Hood was not a hero in the eyes of Kiyosaki's wealthy father. He referred to Robin Hood as a crook. When you work for money, you give your employer the ability to control your life. If money works for you, you retain control over it and retain power over it. Each dollar in my asset column represented a fantastic employee who worked tirelessly to hire more employees and purchase a new Porsche for the boss. It is important to remember that financial intelligence is made up of knowledge from 4 broad areas of expertise, according to Kiyosaki. Accounting. Investing. Markets should be understood. The rule of law. A corporation earns money, spends it all, and then pays taxes on the money that is left over after expenses are paid. It's one of the most significant legal tax loopholes that the wealthy take advantage of. Garrett Sutton's books on corporations provide wonderful insight into the power of personal corporations, and his books on corporations are highly recommended. In the real world, it's not always the smart who get ahead, but the brave who succeed. Kiyosaki believes that we all have one thing in common, and he is one of them. We all have tremendous potential, and we all have been blessed with special abilities and gifts. However, the one thing that keeps us all from reaching our full potential is a certain amount of self-doubt. According to Kiyosaki's personal experience, financial genius necessitates both technical knowledge and courage on the part of the investor. Kiyosaki always encourages adult students to think of games as mirrors that reflect back to them what they already know and what they still need to learn about the world. Games are a reflection of human behavior. They are systems that provide instant feedback. Having more options is what financial intelligence is all about. The single most powerful asset we all possess is our ability to think clearly. If it is properly trained, it has the potential to generate enormous wealth. Every day of your life, the world is constantly presenting you with once-in-a-lifetime opportunities, but we fail to recognize them all too often. Real estate and small-cap stocks are the 2 primary vehicles through which Richard achieves financial growth. Simple math and common sense are all that you need to be successful in your financial endeavors. In the case of secure investments, the problem is that they are frequently sanitized, which means that they are made so safe that the gains are reduced. If you know what you're doing, it is not gambling, says the author. If you're just throwing money at a deal and hoping for the best, that's gambling. Most people never become wealthy simply because they are not financially educated to recognize opportunities that are right in front of them, says the author. Great opportunities are not always visible to the naked eye. They are perceived by your mental faculties. You want to know a little bit about a lot, said Rich Dad, when asked what he wanted to know. JOB is an acronym for just over broke, says the author. They should think about what skills they want to acquire in the future before choosing a specific profession and before becoming trapped in the rat race, says the author. When it comes to the long run, education is more valuable than money. The reason that so many talented people are poor is that they are preoccupied with creating a better hamburger and have little or no knowledge of business systems, says the author. The following are the primary management abilities required for success. Cash flow management is the management of cash flows. System administration and administration of systems. People management is the management of people. According to him, the most critical specialized skills are sales and marketing. The ability to give as well as receive is required in order to be truly wealthy. Giving money is the secret of most great wealthy families, says author Robert Frost. In my opinion, the most significant difference between a rich and a poor person is how they deal with fear. There are 5 main reasons why financially literate people may still be unable to accumulate an abundance of asset columns that could generate a significant amount of cash flow. The 5 reasons are as follows. Fear. Cynicism. Laziness. Habits that are detrimental to one's health. Arrogance. For the vast majority of people, the reason they don't succeed financially is that the pain of losing money outweighs the pleasure of being wealthy. Winners are inspired by failure. Losers are defeated by failure. For those seeking financial independence or freedom, real estate can be an extremely profitable investment vehicle. Having a great property manager is critical to achieving success in real estate. The most common form of laziness is the inability to relax. Rich Dad believed that the words "I can't afford it" were a mental block that prevented you from thinking. The question "how can I afford it?" opens the door to possibilities, excitement, and hopes. The only question to ask yourself whenever you find yourself putting off something you know you should be doing is, what is in it for me? Allow yourself to be a little stingy. It's the most effective treatment for laziness. Richard has discovered that many people use arrogance to try to hide their own ignorance, which he believes is widespread. Gold can be found everywhere. The majority of people are not trained to recognize it. We must rely on our financial genius in order to find million-dollar deals of a lifetime, says the author. When you think about it, a reason or a purpose is simply a combination of wants and don't wants. According to the author, the majority of people simply purchase investments rather than first investing and learning about investing. Richard believes that one of the most difficult aspects of wealth building is being true to yourself and being willing to go against the grain. The wealthy understand that savings are only used to generate additional funds, not to pay bills. A sophisticated investor's first question is, how quickly can I get my money back? Says the author. If Richard could only leave you with one piece of advice, it would be this one. Giving first is the best way to avoid feeling short or in need of something. When you give first, you will receive more than you gave. When it comes to the world of accounting, there are 3 types of income to consider. 1. Earned on a regular basis. Portfolio is the second point to mention. 3. The passive voice. Thank you for listening in Audiobook Academy. Please don't forget to subscribe for more content like this. See you in next audiobook.